Hello everyone. Today our topic of discussion is note making and summarization for classes 11 and 12. Let's first see the marks distribution for class 11. The notes carry in total 5 marks distributed between title 1 mark, notes 3 marks, abbreviations where you should have minimum 4 abbreviations, it carries 1 mark. And for the summary writing, in total it has 3 marks. For 12th standard, the notes carry 4 marks, title 1 mark, notes 2 marks, and abbreviations, minimum 4 abbreviations, it carries 1 mark, and here the summary is for 4 marks. Note making is one such topic which will be very helpful for the students even when they move out of school while they're working or are in the higher education. Let's see few purposes of note making. First, to revise lessons. Just before the exams, it's not possible to go through the entire syllabus. So making notes helps us to revise the syllabus and go through the main points. The second purpose is write report, letter or essay. Before writing any long topic, it's important that we note down few important points which we can incorporate when we are writing a long answers. So making notes help us to write better organized letters or essays or report. Third purpose, plan lecture, speech, discussion. So planning for any of these, note making will be very helpful because we can jot down our points of discussion or lecture or speech and use them while delivering our lectures or discussion. Making a presentation, when we have our notes ready, when we have our points of presentation ready, it is helpful to prepare a well organized presentation. And last, summarizing a text. If a text is very long and we find it difficult to learn it or remember it, then note making helps us to summarize the text, to shorten the length, and then read it, which saves our time as well. There are few important things that we should remember when we are doing note making. The first is not written in complete sentences and conventionally grammatically correct sentences. So when we say it's not written in complete sentences means we cannot write sentence. We can use phrases, we can use punctuation marks in order to separate our phrases. The second is shorter than the original text. So our notes should always be shorter than the original text. Preferably, it should be 1/3 of the text. Main points and supporting details clearly distinguished. So the main points and the supporting details should be clearly distinguished. And this can be done by following the indented format where the main points are written in a particular format and the subpoints are written in one format. Moving on, use of abbreviation, symbol, shorter words, number, etc. In order to shorten our notes, we can use abbreviations or symbols or shorter words or numbers, etc. And whatever abbreviations we are using, we will put it down in the box where we have key to abbreviations. Next point, draw particles, repeated words, relative pronouns, conjunctions, etc. So all these grammar items can be dropped when we make notes. And the final point is info is organized and recorded in systematic manner brings out the structure of original text. We have to keep in mind when we make notes that it should be organized and not haphazard. Whatever format the passage has, the same manner it should be for the notes so that it follows the structure of the original text. As I've earlier said, note making is a skill, and in order to master that skill, we need to keep in mind these 5 points. A. Read passage carefully, understand main points and supporting details. So when we read the passage, we need to understand what are the main points and what are the supporting details so that we can segregate them and make notes. B. Notes should be in points and appropriate format. So whenever we make notes, we make it in a format. The format will be discussed later in the video, and it should be kept in points following the main passage. It should be in the similar fashion in which we have the details in the passage. C. Organize ideas into main points and subheadings. So the notes should be distinctively divided between main points and subheadings. D. Abbreviations and symbols are freely used. So feel free to use abbreviations and symbols whenever you're making notes. For the exam point of view, at least you should have 4 abbreviations. And E. Give title to the notes, avoid long sentence. A title to the note is very important and it shouldn't be very long sentences. Again, it should be short but related to the topic. Let's now discuss how to write good summary. In order to write good summary, we have to keep these points in mind. The summary should not exceed 1/3 of original text. So stick to either 80 words or 1/3 of the original text. Point 2, summary only main points and supporting details. So whatever the main points and the supporting details we are using in the notes, we have to summarize these and not add anything extra. Third, summary reflection of writer's idea. The idea that the writer has expressed in the main passage, which we are summarizing, the same idea should be reflected in the summary as well. While making notes, we can use symbols in our notes like the ones you can see on the screen. You have universal symbols and mathematical symbols. These can be freely used when we are making notes. We can use abbreviations. There are ways of abbreviating a word which I will be discussing later in the video in details. To keep watching. And we can also write acronyms, which means we are using the first letter of each word. Like you have an example, CBSE, NCRT, USA, UNESCO, WHO. So these are the acronyms, and such acronyms can be used while making notes. The first type of abbreviation is where we just take the first few letters of the word in order to abbreviate. For example, important. So when we abbreviate it, we just take the first 3 letters, which is IMP. The second example, information. So we shorten it to info. The second type of abbreviation is where we remove all the vowels from the word and we punch the consonants together. The first example here, management. If we look at the abbreviation that has been used, we have removed all the vowels. Same is the word development as well. So we've tried to remove as many vowels from the word in order to abbreviate. The next type of abbreviation is where we take the first few letters of the word and the last letter in order to abbreviate. As in, for example, department is abbreviated as DEPT and government is abbreviated as GOVT. So this is another type of abbreviation where we take the first few letters and the last few letters of the word in order to write an abbreviation. A few formats for arranging main points and the supporting points. The first format, as you can see, is a mixed format where we can use numbers, Romans, or alphabets even to arrange the main points and the supporting details. Quickly have a look. The second format is a number format where we use only numbers to divide and arrange the main points, the sub points, and the sub points. The students can choose any of the formats in order to make notes. The only thing that they should remember is that the notes should be very neat in their presentation. Let's now see how to write note making. First, read the passage carefully. Try to understand the theme and subject of the passage. If you do not understand what's the theme, try asking these questions. What is this passage about? Second point, read carefully. Identify the main ideas and the supporting details. From these, you will get your main points and the supporting subpoints. Make notes of the main ideas under heading and add subpoints under subheadings. So please segregate your main points and subpoints for each paragraph that you read. The fourth point is use proper layout or format. You indented or linear format, sequential, formal, or tabular form. So as we have already discussed the different types of formats that can be used for writing note making, the students can use either of them in order to properly present their notes. And the fifth point is use recognizable abbreviations wherever possible. The students can use minimum 4 abbreviations in note making, and these abbreviations should be understood, and that's why we provide a key to abbreviations where we provide the main word and the abbreviation so that it's understood as to what these words are. I provided you with a solved example here. You can pause the video and read this passage and try to make notes based on the points that we have discussed earlier. And once you have finished, you can check your notes with the answer key that has been provided later. I hope you have understood and learned the art of making notes and summarization. I would request you to test your understanding by attempting 3 question papers of CBSE of the years 2019, 2018, 2017. The links of these question papers have been provided in the description box. Thank you for watching. Stay connected with us for many more videos coming up. If you have any questions related to note making and summarization, please leave it in the comment box. Like it, subscribe and share.